नमस्कार दोस्तों 25th October 2024 we are going to discuss editorials from The Hindu. First article here, as we are aware, war is happening between Palestine and Israel, especially from Palestine, Hamas terrorist organization, and then Hezbollah terrorist organization from Lebanon. So you can see the map here. Israel, so Israel doing two front war. Basically on one front it is doing war with Gaza, on another end it is doing war with Lebanon. So what kind of tactics need to be followed in global arena in order to bring this war to an end? Almost 6th October 2024 marks 1 year since this war has begun. So there are many things have been discussed from international relation point of view. For us, what is stand of India? What India wants from Indian diplomatic point of view? What we need to understand? We will discuss this article in detail. Recently, Israel had killed Hamas chief Yahya Sinwar on 16th October. This was a main aim of the Israel because Yahya Sinwar, he was the main person behind the genocide that took place on October 7, 2023 in Israel territory. One of the Israel aims, this had come to a good conclusion because Israel had eliminated several of leaders from Hamas and Hezbollah, right? Then we need to ask one thing: what Israel wants next, what they want to do. On one hand, civilian casualties in both Gaza and Lebanon, this is keep on going, and also the political space between both the region, they are continuing to go under siege because there are many issues that have been faced by these two countries. Especially if you see United States of America, they have been not able to bring ceasefire situation between both Palestine. Now recently Lebanon also entered into picture. So between Palestine and Israel, it USA failed to bring the ceasefire. Now we need to ask one thing: so who can bring the ceasefire, and then who can bring the mediation between these two countries, and also who can bring the solution so that war in Lebanon can also be prevented. So basically we can see from two growing and developing countries and most dominant countries in the world, that is India and China, what kind of action they can take so that we can prevent escalating war in oncoming period. If you see countries on what kind of movements they have taken, especially from global south. What do you mean by global south? First, those countries that rely below tropic of cancer, those countries that below tropic of cancer, collectively we call them as global south. Global south, one of the main country is South Africa. And global south, especially if we speak, there are several countries are there, and then each country has their own approach, especially related to war. If we take South Africa for example, South Africa had to bear the brunt of apartheid. What do you mean by apartheid? Basically that was a discrimination movement against black people. They had to face all these things. So what they did, South Africa took the case to International Court of Justice in Netherlands in December 2023, and then they issued a warrant against present Israel Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. If we speak, Israel had lost goodwill in most of the countries, and then even two biggest powers in this context also, like now China and India, these are the two biggest powers. They have their divergent position when it comes to national interest, when it comes to international arena, because both the countries, they are part of BRICS: Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa forum. So each country has their own interest. There were several calls for ceasefire and diplomacy led solution. These countries have promoted these things, but the situation has not come to an end. This kind of divergence between two Asian powers, basically if you see India and China, they represent almost one third of the global population. This will decide what should be the direction of the global south when it comes to the ceasefire between Israel and Palestine. Both India and China, they have a clear diplomatic and political markers on Palestinian issue. If you see China especially, they have put a lot of interest in Arab countries because they see Palestinian sovereignty from decolonization lens, how the decolonization process had happened. So they are going through this thing only. In July 2024, 14 Palestinian factions, several leaders, including Hamas, they went to China for a conference. Basically, the conference was on ending divisions and strengthening Palestinian unity. Basically, why we need to end the divisions in Palestinian? If you see Palestinian itself, Palestinian Palestine is in right side of the Israel. On left side we have Gaza Strip. Gaza Strip, it is ruled by Hamas. Basically, they told they will rule themselves. So these kind of divisions further will weaken them, and then there won't be any solution towards complete Palestinian state. What about China's view and India's line? How it can be viewed? China, since this October last year, they have not condemned Hamas by name for doing planning and executing attack against Israel. 7th October they have carried out, but China didn't come. And then they openly scolded Hamas and then reprimanded them. So this didn't happen. This was deliberately done because they want to keep mediation window open, because Iran and Saudi Arabia, when they had issues, China came into picture, and then China got a lot of fanfare in the international order because of this mediation window. If those calculations, if we make redundant, because with the assassination of Ismail Hania, now present Sinwar, the follow-up conversation, basically unity is the only solution that remains. There are even hyphenated Arab Iranian position. China basically undermined relations with Israel because Israel is almost close to United States of America, and then Israel has better resources being ally of the United States of America. So China may put their lens towards mostly Arab nations, and then they may lend support to Arab nations, especially Iran. China has good relations with Iran, Saudi Arabia, most of the Arab nations. So if China mediate also, the world will listen. But China, in newer forums such as BRICS, they narrate global south on their own favor. Basically, they will say they are doing many things. China is investing more in African countries also, so they can take up the narratives, they can control them in their favor. Even if you see a recent expansion of the group, India was not interested in expanding BRICS, but China went ahead to include more members, basically Islamic countries, into the group. So this kind of narratives, China is very good at. Even interest to join BRICS, this had grown ever since the Palestinian issue, because recently Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas, he visited BRICS summit happened in Kazan, Russia. From Indian point of view, there has been consistent and balanced regarding international national interest and international obligations. Many analysts believe our approach, basically Indian approach, related to conflict, this has been slightly moved towards Israel, because this was the critical support and incorrect view of things. Basically, India's view towards Israel, India in any forums, if you see, India always against the terrorism, always points about countering terrorism. All these things put into factor. Hamas and Hezbollah, these are terrorist organizations. So India is against terrorism. So that is the stance of India. Even in order to add few more things to this argument, Israel, they had released Sinwar in prison from 2011. in exchange of the one Israeli soldier. Similarly, India carried out similar operation. Why? Because they had to release Jaish-e-Mohammed's Masood Hajar because they have hijacked the plane IC-814 in 1999. Recently, there were several issues related to this plane. Even web series had also come into picture. So India, we have these scars and we are still facing them. So we are against the terrorism. So India always push a return of countering terrorism as a core multilateral deliverable because the US also pushed war on terror. This will draw down and then put India and USA on the similar path of countering terrorism. Even India continues to support two state solutions. Israel and Palestine, they have to recognize their own values and then they have to bring two state solution. And then India recognized Palestinian state in 1988. Since then, Palestinian is a state to us. Both these policies, they are running currently. Even we don't have any polarized impressions also. However, both do exist as a reality and they do not undermine one from each other. Basically, two state solution and Palestinian state, they should come into together. What about the perspective? Basically, the war in Gaza, this shown the idea of America's Pax Americana. Basically, America is a global pan America kind of image is diminishing. Then US itself is finding very low and distant realities that is happening on the ground. India China contestation, this will undermine any real unity within this global south happening. But there are certain disparities are there, democracy versus non-democratic present. These things will help to navigate more. What author ultimately says is true mediation basically happens when you have political power, military power, when you mobilize and exploit all these things, when you leverage them. No power in the global south, whether individually or collectively, they have the correct tool to place a project that will influence West Asia today. Whatever kind of such little projection, even if it witnessed, it is more about individual interest. If you see, China is more concerned about their individual interest instead of interest of the Israel and Palestinian country. So these kind of things will come and go, but those countries have to think from their own lenses. This is about what author says, Gaza war and how global south intervention should be required. Next article we will discuss about whether chess should be included as a Olympic sport. Today is Friday. Interview happens with chess superpowers, those who have played and represented India and Global Forum, Vishwanath Anand and one more person. This interview has been carried out and then their views have been published. So whether we can include Olympic on sport, this has been discussed in detail. Recently, India won historic double gold at 2024 Chess Olympiad in Budapest, Hungary. This enabled India to put a top spot in both the open event and women's team competition. These kind of victories, they remain India's greatest achievement in sports. If you see specifically chess basically enjoy huge popularity across the world. International Olympic Committee even consider chess as a sport, even recognizes International Chess Federation, basically World Chess Federation, this as an official federation. But chess is not an Olympic sport. Whether chess should be Olympic sport, this is the question that have been posed to Vishwanath Anand. He is a former grandmaster, and Praveen Tipsase. Praveen and Vishwanath, the conversation has been moderated by Ajit Kumar. We will see, we'll discuss what are the things what they have discussed. First thing, author asked about whether chess should be considered as Olympic sport. Vishwanath Anand says, in 2000, he visited Sydney Olympics. He played with Alexei Shirov. And then there was a very combative chess in that match. What he says is, Olympics, the way Olympics are organized, chess is also organized in the similar manner. He don't find any issue because chess should also be considered and even desirable for consideration as a game in Olympics. Praveen Tipsase says chess has every reason to be an Olympic sport. There is even a lot of interest generated by Indian contingent, basically that participated in Sydney Olympics. There is even curiosity over chess match that is being played. There are a lot of interest among athletes who are on the other side to play sports. They showed chess as a equal sport. Even chess played several part as a game in Olympics as well. So it deserves to be part of the Olympic games. Olympics have recognized chess as a sport, but whether they need to consider in the Olympics, that is the main point. Chess is played by almost 200 countries. This kind of chess sport runs very systematically. Chess Federation of India, they conduct regularly over the world, basically continental, regional championship. There are events for various age groups from children to veterans. Competitions, they are held in inmates for jails also. Chess is even also played as hobby by many people like badminton. So Praveen Tipsase says he cannot find any reason unless to include chess as a sports in Olympic events. Then author asks, what are the realistic chances that chess can be included as Olympic sport? Vishwanath Anand says he doesn't have any number, but Indian and even Chess Federation is also close contact with International Olympic Committee. Chess is already part of the Olympic esports. Basically, this is also about Olympic discipline or Olympic event. If you see esports, it is a global virtual simulated sports competition. This was created by International Olympic Commission. It was in collaboration with International Federation and game publishers. So this could be the pathway for chess to become Olympic sport. Praveen Tipsase says chess should be represented in different way that has been so far. Chess has gone through several changes. He says he was part of Indian team at 1994 chess Olympiad. He had even talked to International Olympic Committee president at that time, Juan Antonio. Even there were 4 to 5 days because huge discussion about whether to include chess in the Olympic Games or not. There was even quite atmosphere when the game is being played. Slow nature of game, this could cause some observation about the chess. Even he said that he did not see why chess is not being part of the Olympic movement during his tenure. That was like kind of 30 years ago. Now chess has changed a lot because chess has some rules. Then it has to be played in quite environment, but chess has changed a lot. Now game has become very faster. Even we have more rapid and blitz formats that even take a lot of time, unlike earlier times. Even people are playing and watching chess tournaments. Even he says he was head of Indian delegation at Chennai chess Olympiad 2 years ago. Even there were days when about like 10,000 people, they were used to turn up to watch a match of Olympiad at Mamallapuram. Basically, it's in Tamil Nadu nearby Chennai. If we put game in this right way, there is a high chance that chess can become a game in Olympics. How can chess gain becoming Olympic discipline? Vishwanath Anand says we are already part of Olympic movement, but chess is not Olympic sport. If even it becomes Olympic sport, it will do many interactions between federation and governments, even sports ministries across countries, across the world. So chess will benefit from the worldwide attention given to Olympic Games. Then Praveen Tipsase says Summer Olympics basically they draw attention from almost every sports lover in the world. Even those who are not fans follow it because it is a matter of pride for the country. Even he says he was in touch with some developing country federations. They even say government doesn't support them enough because they are not part of Olympics. So basically, if we include Olympic discipline, then chess can become a huge popularity sport. Already it is being famous in 200 countries. We can make it great again. Then author asked about one more thing. Can the Olympic Games and Chess Olympiad coexist? Vishwanath Anand say he doesn't find anything why they can't be included. Many sports they continue to be tradition as long as they do it on their own. Of course, scheduling the game on consistently can be issue. But if you see chess Olympiad, it has been a continuing tradition for almost 100 years. Now even if chess is included as an Olympic game, we can slightly schedule the game. When Olympic happens, we can slightly reschedule Olympiad so that Olympiad should continue. Then Praveen Tipsase says Olympiad must continue. Why? Because in Olympics, few 12 to 16 countries may go into the final, and then only few countries may represent. But when it comes to Olympiad, almost 200 countries can represent. So we can present the popularity of the game, and then we can preserve the popularity of the game. That's what he says. Then author poses one more question. It has been told several times chess is for better chance of making it to winter Olympics rather than the summer games. If this kind of scenario appealing, especially from Indian point of view. Vishwanath Anand says he doesn't find any disadvantage in being at winter Olympic games also. So pride of being Olympic games is a big thing. That should be, even if it comes in winter Olympics also, no issue. Praveen Tipsa says chess should be part of Summer Olympics because it has better viewership. So even if we get option being included in the summer game, this would be better than winter games. Some may argue there is a optimal temperature for intellectual activity. Lower the temperature, the better the brain. The brain is more active then. But players play in air conditioned environment anyway. It doesn't really matter basically. So the summer Olympics should be the best option for chess instead of the winter Olympics. Then author poses one more question. Why has chess not appealed in International Olympic Committee so far? What could be done to make chess more appealing? Vishwanath Anand says it may not be about chess at all basically. It should be the decision, or it may be the decision taken by International Olympic Committee how big their games are and how many sports they should have. By the same logic, he wouldn't say about IOC objected to cricket also. Cricket initially was not included in Olympics. It was 30 years ago when Samranch said chess did not appeal to him as a sport. Even he looked chess as a more of intellectual activity. To solution for that, even Praveen Tipsase says he was wondering what kind of things could be done so that it can be included in Olympics. After 2 seasons of Global Chess League, basically it is a joint venture by Federation of International Chess and Tech Mahindra. This is perhaps a great way of making community sport a spectator sport. So it could probably appear like sport to the International Olympic Committee. One of the good thing about Global Chess League is that they have specific time control. Any sport that draw for unlimited time does not attract crowd. So we should quicker time control, and then when it is fixed, so incremental time can be given. This kind of thing will definitely help. Japan, they have their own chess format, shogi. Spectators, they are allowed to shout and cheer the players, even suggest moves during the game. We can even go for that sort of version of the chess. But he says the top players are really strong, very rarely would benefit from spectators help. It would be nice if they are to adjust noise from the crowd. They could make it quicker game when it comes to fewer chances even of cheating also. We have to make chess look like more of sport so that it can appeal to Olympics. So somewhere player will have to adjust to this process. That's what author says. This is the article about very good articles whether chess should be Olympic sport or not. Next article, this is we have taken from a business article. Basically, Netflix they are doing several things in order to increase the viewership. So we'll discuss this article why Netflix want to move into gaming industry, why they want to move into gaming industry, what caused Netflix diversifying. So this article you can just have good knowledge, and then you can use it somewhere as an example. Basically, Netflix they want to go into gaming sector. This is a strategic shift, because initially they are in streaming part. You might have seen many movies where Netflix puts. Now they want to go into a business part basically, like they want to diversify themselves. Netflix basically they faced slowing subscriber growth. There were several people who were not subscribing again with Netflix because there were huge competition. Now Amazon is there, right? Even local players also come into picture. Then Netflix subscriber growth is growing. In order to diversify its offering, even attract new people, Netflix explored several areas. By this logic, Netflix want to increase the subscriber and they want to go into gaming platform. Gaming platform, they want to provide a lot of games to Netflix subscribers so that at no additional cost, at the same cost whatever you are getting streaming services, games also will be provided, so that your subscriber growth will happen. In order to do this, Netflix, they had developed their own development studios. Even they acquired gaming companies like Next Game, Boss Fight Entertainment, Spry Fox also. They even partnered with game franchises such as GTA, Sonic Dash to attract wider audience by tapping into popular gaming titles. What about scaling and market expansion? Netflix gaming download, it is very impressive, almost 160%. Initially 5 million people downloaded gaming things from Netflix in 2021. Now almost 81 million. That means 8.1 crore downloads happened. With this initial success, Netflix felt very happy and then they wanted to create next original platform. Then they want to move into a next level gaming platform by acquiring intellectual properties. And then Netflix wanted to become a major player in the gaming industry. But what caused it? Right? One major area when it comes to gaming things known as AAA game development. What do you mean by AAA game development? AAA game development is same. This is a high budget game development. You will put billions of money and it is highly risky. Suppose a game develops and game becomes perfect and then it will be downloaded by every people. But even after spending billions of people, it won't appeal to common people. Then game won't make any sense, and then whatever the money Netflix has invested, it could go in drain. So this is exactly what happened with Netflix. Netflix, they exposed high financial risk because if this AAA title failed, because these kind of AAA titles, they are being played by GTA who are very popular in already, but whether Netflix can do or not, it is highly questionable also. Presently they have dropped this plan. Even Hollywood writers, they strike even budget adjustment also. Netflix, initially they used to stream hundreds of programs in 2022. When it comes to 2023, they have reduced their programs. Why? When you put a lot of content, the quality of content will be missing. When quality of content goes down, your your presentation material goes down, basically subscriber growth will come down. So in order to prevent that, Netflix is focusing on original streaming pattern. Wherever some powerful interviews happen or anything such sort, they will take only qualitative material. In that matter, they want to engage and improve the focus of attention, and even wants to improve the subscriber growth. Even they wanted to stop publishing how much is the subscriber growth, and then they want to focus more on quality adjustments. Now they are Netflix is moving towards more balanced and low risk approach in gaming. They are having licensing with popular game enterprises such as many gaming industries where they are famous. They have licensing model so that it will be very less risky, and then this can slowly develop subscriber growth. In summary, what we can say, Netflix this cautious coming back from this original AAA gaming development, this aligns with their broader business strategy, basically of sustainable high quality growth rather than this rapid and risky expansion. By reallocating resources from original AAA games, they can focus more on licensed popular titles. Even Netflix can still offer robust gaming catalog that can engage users without significant financial strain also. This kind of approach, it will maintain Netflix as a flexible thing, and then it could reduce their risk and even adapt evolving entertainment landscape. So this is the article about. We discussed 3 articles today. Thank you very much.